our Center for the Arts studio, this is Good Afternoon Ashland. I'm Anna Belowski.
And I'm Caitlin Meeks. Thanks for tuning in.
The Ashland University Department of Language and Literatures presented a poetry reading on March 2nd. Visiting writer Saeed Jones talked about excerpts from his critically acclaimed book, Alive at the End of the World, which discusses Black life in America. The book was selected to the Best Books of 2022 list by The New Yorker, NPR, and Publishers Weekly. Jones also wrote two other award-winning books titled Prelude to Bruise and How We Fight for Our Lives. Jones was born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee, but now lives in Columbus, Ohio, and is in close proximity to AU. The Ashland University Theater Department performed its Once Upon a Mattress musical mid-February. AUTV 20's Lauren Golden has more.
I'm Lauren Golden here in front of Hugo Young Theater reporting on the Department of Theater's production of Once Upon a Mattress. This will take place on February 16th, 17th, and 18th at 7:30 p.m. and February 19th at 2 p.m. Today I spoke with cast member Leanna Usselton and director Teresa Durbin-Ames.
Once Upon a Mattress is the fairy tale The Princess and the Pea. So it's a musicalized version of that story and in this kingdom, the young prince cannot marry. No one can marry in the kingdom until Prince Dauntless is wed. So everyone is like, this princess has got to be the one. So we have a lot of people that we need this wedding to happen. I think it was last summer that I first decided that we were going to do Once Upon a Mattress. We did Bat Boy last year, and I thought we needed something a little more lighter, a comedy and a musical comedy for our audience and for our students to have a chance to work on a show of this style. It was written in 1959, so it's what we call the golden age of musical theater. Mary Rodgers, who composed the music, her father was Richard Rodgers, who worked with Oscar Hammerstein on Oklahoma and South Pacific and The King and I. So it's a little bit of a more traditional musical theater sound.
I am playing Queen Agravain. She is very overbearing. She's the mother of Dauntless, the prince in the kingdom, and he has been trying to get married for years. He's getting pretty old now. There's been 12 princesses before Princess Winifred, and she is trying to marry him, but my character keeps coming up with these crazy tests for all the princesses, and none of them have passed, so we're trying to see if Princess Winifred will pass. So we are currently in Tech Week, and it's been pretty hectic. There's only 12 of us in the cast, and normally it's a very big cast. So a lot of us are double casted in the ensemble, so we're changing really quickly backstage.
We are beginning to add our tech elements. So you see behind me we have the mattresses and the bed. And so we've got about a week to go, 8-9 days. So we are trying to finish the set. We are adding the orchestra. They'll sing with the musicians for the first time tomorrow night. And then this weekend we'll start adding lights, sound, and costumes. So we are in the final stretches of the polishing and putting the whole thing together.
It's the main character, Winifred. She is trying to stand up and stand out against the queen and pass her test in order to marry Dauntless and get married.
So Winifred is not your typical ingenue that you would see in musical theater. She is kind of like, she's really quirky, she's a tomboy. She doesn't like to conform to the societal norms of medieval times.
The cast and crew is very excited to put on Once Upon a Mattress here at the Hugo Young Theater February 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th. This has been Lauren Golden with AUTV 20.
The theater department's next play will take place on April 14th and 15th as part of the 10-Minute Play Festival inside the Studio Theater at 7:30 p.m. each night.
In local news, Mansfield is in the spotlight for another movie featuring former heavyweight boxing champion James Buster Douglas. The movie that Douglas will be starring in is an anti-bullying film called The Final Contestant, and he will take the role of a grandparent. According to local residents Kimberly Miller and Kelby King, who are co-owners of Heart of Ohio Films and their nonprofit Mansfield Films, Douglas was the perfect guy to support the movie's message. The film is projected to have a runtime of 40 minutes once edited, but currently there are no plans as to when the film will be released. Moving back into campus news, Kobe Cafe has closed down for the 2023 spring semester, and AUTV 20 reporter Sean Rapuyan has all the details.
The Kobe Cafe, located within the Dow College of Business and Economics at Ashland University, has been closed indefinitely. I'm Sean Rapuyan, and I met with Fred Geib, General Manager of Dining Operations, to discuss some of the options for student dining.
Unfortunately, Kobe Cafe, there was just no traffic flow that was stopping at that location to buy anything. So we're always looking at customer counts, through those areas, what the sales are. Unfortunately, Kobe Cafe the sales were not even covering the labor in that location.
With the recent closure, the campus community has wondered what future plans lie ahead for student dining and the other on-campus locations such as Char Cafe, the Eagle's Nest, and Tuffy's.
In the Eagle's Nest and student dining both, it's been a while since we've had any type of renovations to our areas, changes. The last major renovation for student dining was done in 99, 2000. So it's in need of updating, not only equipment, but the furnishings that are in the dining hall. Yeah, you probably noticed some of the tables are showing their wear. Some of the tabletops are peeling back. So a lot of renovations need to happen here. You see a lot of comments about food quality and things like that. Not a lot, I shouldn't say a lot, but occasionally they'll pop up. If you got an issue with food quality or service, we're here. We want to make it right. If something's not right, say something. We're here and we want to do the right thing by the students. So my hope is that student dining can get back to the greatness that we had pre-COVID, when we had lots of staff and we could do all these things to the students. And our staff is, they do whatever they can for the students, and we would like to get back to that point to offer a greater service to the student body.
For AUTV 20, I'm Sean Rapuyan.
It is unclear whether the cafe will reopen in the future, but for at least the next 7 months, it will remain closed.
When Good Afternoon Ashland returns, we will have more on AU faculty that were honored with mentor awards, and we'll learn more about Ukrainian students that have come to campus.
Stay tuned. You're watching Good Afternoon Ashland.
No matter where life has drawn you, every step has taken you deeper into the journey God has for you. And now you're here. All the pain, all the joy, everything you've experienced, endured, it's all led to right now. Prepared by your past, your future awaits. Take your next step forward in faith.
You should expect a lot from your college experience. No matter where you're from or where you want to go, Ashland University promises to give each student what they need to succeed. The Ashland Promise offers lifelong connections, unlimited possibilities, and real-world opportunities. The Ashland Promise ensures affordable tuition, a transformative education, and a community of respect that will set you up for whatever success means to you. And that's truly just the beginning. Discover your promise at ashland.edu/promise.
Welcome back to Good Afternoon Ashland. At the end of January, 8 faculty members of Ashland University were recognized with Academic Mentor Awards. The awards recognize faculty that significantly affect a student's life beyond the classroom by serving as a role model, trusted advisor, and guide. This year's award winners were Neely Fisher-Powell, who is coordinator of field placement at the Elyria Center, Kristen Hovsepian, an associate professor of marketing, Terry Jewett, a professional instructor of education, Liz Keller, the director of student activities, Eric Kormos, assistant professor in educational administration, Heather Kupra, the business operations coordinator for enrollment management and marketing, Greg McBrayer, associate professor in political science, and Deborah McDaniel, an adjunct instructor in teacher education. The award-winning mentors were each presented with an engraved silver plate. Nominations were submitted by students via one-page essays, and selections were made by the members of the Academic Affairs Committee of the Board of Trustees.
Ukrainian students have recently made their way to AU, and AU TV20's Bryn Meisey has more.
The Ashbrook Center of Ashland University offered 4 scholarships to Ukrainian students to help them come to a foreign country and learn while their country is under Russian occupation. I'm Bryn Meisey, and today I got to sit down with 2 Ukrainian students, Max and Alexa, and hear how they're settling into Ashland University.
I wanted to try something different from what we have in Ukraine, and I also knew that I wouldn't be able to really get good quality education there because we have war. And some universities, they were destroyed, and some they just stopped working properly, and because of COVID too. So I just decided to apply to have some new experience and a great education. My majors are political economy and psychology. People are really nice here, and the educational system is really different. I really like how we have conversations with teachers, and I don't feel any pressure when I talk to them. I would like to not like compare, but like to see how everything works here, so maybe I could bring something new to my home country.
My mom insisted me on applying for the UGU program because I have never heard of it before, and my mom was like, "Oh, grab this opportunity, do this. Maybe you will succeed," and stuff like that. And I succeeded in this program, and then I received an offer from Ashland University. My major is international political studies because I aim to come back to Ukraine and rebuild it politically. I would like to pursue my degree here, undergrads, then apply all the gained knowledge in Ukraine, and afterwards maybe work in international organizations as a representative of my country.
For AUTV20, I'm Bryn Meisey.
Ashland University is seeking to continue international student recruiting as a way to enhance the total student population. And in other campus news, the AU Faculty Art Exhibition has recently wrapped, and AU TV's Madison Farrell has more on all the work that went into it.
Reporting from AUTV20, this is Madison Farrell. Today I'm here with Cynthia Petrie as we talk about the Coburn Arts Gallery.
We have a new show that opens on March the 2nd at 4:30 p.m. That's our annual juried student show. So we have any student that has participated and taken a studio art class, and that exhibition runs through March 24th. We're open Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from noon to 4 p.m. What is my favorite part of the gallery? I think receiving the artwork and to see the talent that we have from our students, since we're having our juried show open in a couple of weeks. After that, in early April, we'll have our senior exhibition. It is part of their senior capstone and for graduation. So this is the culmination of their college career. So people should come out and support them.
This was Madison Farrell from AUTV20.
When Good Afternoon Ashland comes back, we will go over to the sports desk with Cade Krackus.
You're watching Good Afternoon Ashland.
No matter where life has drawn you, every step has taken you deeper into the journey God has for you. And now you're here. All the pain, all the joy, everything you've experienced, endured, it's all led to right now. Prepared by your past, your future awaits. Take your next step forward in faith.
You should expect a lot from your college experience. No matter where you're from or where you want to go, Ashland University promises to give each student what they need to succeed. The Ashland Promise offers lifelong connections, unlimited possibilities, and real-world opportunities. The Ashland Promise ensures affordable tuition, a transformative education, and a community of respect that will set you up for whatever success means to you. And that's truly just the beginning. Discover your promise at ashland.edu/promise.
Welcome back to Good Afternoon Ashland. I'm Cade Krakus. Thanks for tuning in. The Ashland University women's basketball team has been on a roll this season. Since downing the Drury Panthers 68-67 in non-conference play to start the season, the Eagles have averaged over a 25-point difference between them and their opponents, which is the second best margin in Division II. With a 27-0 overall record and just one game remaining in conference play, they finished off their impressive season strong. They took on the Malone Pioneers to finish the season before hosting the Great Midwest Athletic Conference postseason tournament. On the other side of things, the men's basketball team has defied the odds this season, taking down multiple opponents they were deemed underdogs against. The most recent underdog wins came against the Chargers on the road and at home, the first to start the month of February. In that win, guard Brandon Haraway recorded 24 points and guard Simon Wheeler added on 17. After that big win, they would go on to take down the Lake Erie Storm, Ohio Dominican Panthers, and Cedarville Yellow Jackets before beating the Chargers at home once again with 2 games left in the season. Haraway once again shined as he contributed 31 points. Now that spring is approaching, the Ashland University softball team is gearing up for their season to begin soon. AUTV 20 sports reporter Claudia Adcock had the opportunity to talk to some of the players and see what their expectations for the season are.
The 2022 season for the AU softball team had some unexpected injuries and setbacks. The team is preparing to come in strong this 2023 season on the new Deb Miller Field at the Archer Ballpark.
Last year we were really riddled with a lot of injuries. We had some really bad weather, so it took a long time for us to get consistent and to find some consistency in our schedule. And so this year we're really excited that we have more depth. We can battle those injuries a lot differently if we come upon them. And now with the turf field too, we can hopefully have more consistency with our schedule. We can play when we're supposed to be playing. We can practice outside and just be able to get into a much better flow than what we did last year.
Senior Josie Duncan is looking forward to the season and shares some of her own expectations for this season.
Upcoming this spring, I would like to see more determination and fight, playing for the next person beside you, and just continuing on loving for the game. The only true, expectation is to control the controllable. So our attitude, effort, all of those things. We can't control whether the umpire's calls or maybe the other team, but I think that would be my one true expectation for us.
As the girls are working hard preparing, Coach is looking forward to see the strength and excitement the girls bring this season.
We're going to compete this year. We have a ton of returners coming back and some really good young talent. So we're excited to see what our lineup is going to do and what we can do with players coming off the bench as well with that depth that we have. So we're going to compete every single day.
For the Collegian, I'm Claudia Adcock.
The team's first home game is March 18th, where they look to play at Deb Miller Field for the first time in program history. However, their first preseason competitions came at the Music City Invitational and the Blue Bridge Battle, where the team looked solid. With the fall sports season officially over, the Ashland University football team saw a drastic change come with the retirement of head coach Lee Owens. In his place now is longtime staff member Doug Geiser. Geiser gave the time to come and sit down with AUTV 20 sports reporter Jordan Hiles, who was able to get some inside information on his new plans and ideas.
Thanks, Cade. Hello, and welcome to this edition of Good Afternoon Ashland. I'm your host, Jordan Hiles, and today I'm joined by Ashland University's newest football head coach, Doug Geiser. First of all, congratulations on being named Ashland's 15th head coach.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Jordan.
In your January 3rd press conference, you spoke of high expectations for the team. Can you elaborate on what some of those expectations and goals are?
The legacy of Ashland football has been built way long before I got here. And so there's a standard of excellence with every single team that comes through and plays on Jack Miller Stadium. So our expectations are to do things that haven't been done here before. And it's, whether that's in the community, in the classroom, and also on the field. So we want to make our mark and bring more notoriety and prestige to Ashland.
What improvements would you like to see your offense, defense, and special teams make for this upcoming season?
Offensively, probably the key word there is being efficient. We would like to always get rid of turnovers. So the turnover margin is always important with us. Increasing the explosive plays, it always creates a shorter field, makes scoring a lot easier. So that consistency in those areas right there. Defensively, it comes down to being able to tackle. And Coach Tim Rose, our defensive coordinator, has done a great job through the years. We're perennially one of the top defenses in Division II football. So continuing that standard of excellence with him, and as far as going forward, and a lot of that comes down to shedding blocks, making tackles, creating turnovers. So almost the exact opposite, forcing those offenses to be inconsistent, getting them off schedule. And then special teams, I think we have some room to grow in the special teams. We were very inconsistent at times with that. And if we could find that dynamic returner, we'd like to do that in a punt return and the kick return game. We had a kicker step up last year, A.J. Rhodes, did a tremendous job, and I'm excited to see where he goes and how he continues to improve moving forward. So.
Dr. Campos said Ashland is a values-based institution. What values do you hope to instill in your players?
It starts with a couple things. Number one is work ethic. Second one with that is toughness. I'm not just always talking physical toughness, which you would think with football, but even mental toughness and being able to fight through. Also, operating with class, I think, is something that, people notice us on campus a lot of times because we're bigger than a lot of people. Okay, so there's not a target on your back, but you're noticed. So we challenge our guys to operate with that class, with honesty, with sincerity, being accountable, acting with integrity. Things that I look at that create the Ashland man. And that Ashland man, in my mind, is, he's rigorously, relentlessly pursuing excellence in all areas of his life, not just on the field, but all areas. It all works together.
The 2022 team had 2 first-team academic All-Americans. As a coach, how do you motivate your student athletes to excel not only on the field, but also in the classroom?
The first part of that comes from recruiting. And you recruit, you look at both gentlemen that got recognized, they were tremendous students in high school. And so when we identify players that we think can help us on the field, one of the other aspects of that is also off the field, in the community, in the classroom. Because like I said, it all works together. When you're doing things well and we can trust you off the field, we can now trust you on the field. Okay, so that's the first thing we look at is that. The other thing we look at is being a self-starter. And it shouldn't take us motivating you to want to excel in the different areas of your life. And so you identify those aspects and those people that want to go above and beyond, hold themselves to a high standard. That makes our job easy as coaches as far as motivation. So the motivation, I don't think, can come from us. We can encourage, but ultimately it's got to come from within. It's got to be intrinsic.
For future Eagles, what qualities do you look for in your recruiting process besides on-the-field performances?
We actually met on this yesterday as a coaching staff, kind of debriefing from the recruiting cycle. And a little thing such as looking at the transcript can tell you a lot. The first thing I look at when I see a high school kid's transcript are tardies and absences. Are they getting to class? Are they being accountable there? The second thing I look at is the GPA. And the GPA tells me work ethic. And then the last thing I'll look at too is a test score. Now that's kind of gone away a little bit with some COVID stuff, but a test score would tell me aptitude. Do they have the ability to succeed at a college level? So do you have that work ethic? Are you accountable? Do you have the ability to succeed at the college level? Those things above and beyond, once you have that, and that's even, believe it or not, that's even before we start looking at the physical. We look at that portion of it right there. Do they have that before we even look to, can they do it blocking and tackling wise on the field?
Last season, the team rushed for 2,585 yards and passed for 2,293 yards. Do you plan to keep this balanced plan of attack?
Yes, balance has always been a key. I've been involved with this offense now going almost 30 years. And I had a chance to work with Coach Owens at the time and Coach Stacy, who's going to be our offensive coordinator. That's always been a key for us. It's something we've always strived for. Now, for us, balance isn't necessarily 50-50 run or pass as far as play-wise. but always putting that idea in the defense's minds where it could be a 50-50 run this play. So there will always be a physical component to our offense, which a lot of times correlates to the run game. That'll always be a portion of it. That's the portion that plays, that's the portion that travels when you get to the playoffs and get to postseason. So you have no idea in Division II what weather you're going to see in the playoffs, okay? But you also need the ability to strike quickly and have explosive plays in the pass game too. So in answer to your question, yes, the balance is something that is always in the forefront of our mind when we're game planning every week.
Coach Geiser, your head coaching debut is up against IUP, the team we lost to in the second round of the Division II playoffs last year. What is your game plan to avenge that loss?
Well, I can't give away all the secrets at this point. As I look at the game, I mean, IUP is coached very well. Their head coach, Paul Tortorella, is a tremendous football coach. They're sound in what they do, and when you play them, you can't beat yourself. They are very well prepared with that. And last year, there were some things we did to beat ourselves. We gave away 14 points in the grand scheme of things. We got a punt block for a touchdown. We got stopped on a 4th and goal from the 2. And in a lot of respects, they made a play, yes. We beat ourselves in those situations. We didn't perform what we were supposed to in those situations. They did. So probably the biggest part of the game plan going forward is don't beat yourself going into those games. Don't make those critical self-inflicted wounds going into that game with IUP.
Thank you so much for your time and good luck this fall.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Jordan.
The Eagles' first home game is Saturday, September 9th versus Ferris State. This has been your newest edition of Good Afternoon Ashland. I hope you all have enjoyed it so far.
The Eagles look to get right back into practice and scrimmages as they prepare for the spring season, which is currently ongoing before returning to conference play in the fall of 2023. That was a look at sports both at Ashland University and beyond. Now back to Caitlin and Anna at the news desk to wrap up this edition of Good Afternoon Ashland.
Thanks, Cade. We hope you enjoyed this edition of Good Afternoon Ashland. To keep up with AUTV 20, be sure to follow us across all social media at AUTV 20.
Tune into 88.9 WRDL, AU student-run radio station at 88.9 FM and online at WRDLFM.com.
Also, be sure to pick up a copy of the award-winning newspaper, The Collegian, and check out ashland.collegian.com for more news and content from the JDM department. We would like to thank the crew here today at AUTV 20 for making this all possible. I'm Anna Belowski.
And I'm Caitlin Meeks. Thanks for watching.
Mm-hmm.